This is short division video number 3. You should be watching this if you have cracked the bus stop method in video 1. You are really sure about how to change your remainders into fractions from video 2, and then you're ready for the next step. The reason that we want to change our remainders into a decimal is because we want to be super accurate. I don't know if you've ever tried putting a division sum into a calculator. It gives you a decimal, it doesn't give you a remainder. In order for this method to work, it's really helpful if you know some basic fraction and decimal equivalents. For example, you should know that a half is the same as 0.5 as a decimal, and that a fifth is the same as 0.2, and a quarter is the same as 0.25, a third is the same as 0.33 recurring, which means it just goes on forever and ever and ever, and that a tenth is the same as 0.1. If you learn these off by heart, it will really help. In the last video, I kept the numbers that we were dividing by fairly simple for a reason. Now, if we look at this photo, which is from the last video, I know that 472 divided by 3 is 157 and 1/3. I also know that 1/3 as a decimal is 0.33. So the answer I'm going to underline is 157.33. Similarly here, 372 divided by 5, I've already worked out, is 74 and 2/5. Now I know that 1/5 is the same as 0.2, so 2/5 would be 0.4. So my answer will be 74.4. And in the last example from last time, I know that 3/4 as a decimal is 0.75. So my answer in total is 167.75. So if you are dividing by 2 or 4 or 5, it's quite easy to turn your fraction of a remainder into a decimal. But what about if your divisor is a little bit more complicated? Let's have a look at 653 divided by 8. So again, let's do our bus stop method, 653 divided by 8, and let's work our way through. So 6 divided by 8 is 0, with 6 left over. Now 8's into 65, well 8 8's are 64, so that's remainder 1, and then 8's into 13, go only the once, and then that leaves me with 5. So as a fraction, this would be 5/8. Now, I know that 1/8 is 0.125, but I need 5/8, which means that I need to do multiplication, I need to work it out, and to be honest with you, it's too much maths. Let's try that again, but we're going to try a slightly different method this time. Set it out exactly the same, 653 divided by 8. Now, we got so far in that it's 0 8's, 658 is 0, remainder 6, 8 8's is 64, remainder 1, 65, 8's into 13, go once, out. This is where we got to last time, but to make it a little bit easier for myself, I'm going to extend this line. I'm going to put a decimal point on both lines, and I'm going to put a 0 0 there. This means I can carry on my bus stop method. So if you remember, we got as far as 8's into 13, 13 divided by 8 is 1, remainder 5. Now 8's into 50, well 6 8's are 48, so 50 divided by 8 is 6, remainder 2. 8 into 20 goes twice. 2 times 8 is 16. I'm going to add myself another 0 here. Into 40, and 40 divided by 8 is 5. We're done. I've got no more remainders. Now, this is where you need to read the question really carefully. Usually, the question will tell you how many decimal points it wants you to have. So let's say, in this example, I want 653 divided by 8 to 2 decimal places. So my answer would be 81 point, and then if I round it to 2 decimal places, that means it would go up, so it'd be 0.63. Let's do another one. This time we are dividing by 7. We've got 8,734. Now, sevens is one of those ones you often end up with a decimal remainder. So let's see how we get on. So 8 divided by 7 is 1, remainder 1. 17 divided by 7, or 2 7s are 14, which gives me 3 left over. 33 divided by 7, 4 7s are 28, which would leave me with 5 left over. 7s into 54, 54 divided by 7, 7 7s are 49, but I'm going to have a remainder, so I'm going to put a decimal point. Remember to do it on, it's really important you do it on both lines, keeping that decimal point lined up, remember. So I've added myself some zeros to keep me going. So 7 7s are 49, which would give me 5 left over from 54. 7s into 50, I've already just said. 7 7s are 49, leave me 1. 10 divided by 7 is 1, remainder 3. 30 divided by 7, 4 7s are 28, and I could just keep going and going and going and going, but if you remember at the start I only wanted 2 decimal places, so I look at my third decimal place, and actually I don't need to change my decimal. My answer is 1247.71. Right, one more, and then I think you can consider yourself short division experts. So I've got 6,439 divided by 6. This part you definitely should have got the hang of now. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. 6 divided by 4, 4 divided by 6 rather, I can't do. Make sure, important 0. So that leaves me with 43. 43 divided by 6 is 7. 7 6s are 42, which leaves me with 1 left over. Now I can see already I'm going to need to extend this line and put in a decimal point. Now, I want up to 2 decimal points, this one, so I'm going to add myself 3 zeros, and that should be enough to give me an answer with 2 decimal points. So let's carry on. So 19 divided by 6 is 3, remainder 1, because 3 6s is 18. 10 divided by 6 is 1, remainder 4. 40 divided by 6, well 6 6s are 36, remainder 4. Oh, look what's happened. Can you see? 40 divided by 6 would be 6, remainder 4, and it would go on and on and on forever and ever and ever. Now this is called a recurring decimal. Now remember, I wanted this to 2 decimal places, so I need to look at my third decimal place, and you can see I'm going to have to round this one up. So my actual final answer to 6,439 divided by 6 is 1,073.17. Well done. If you have stuck with me through all 3 short division videos, you are most definitely a short division star. Well done.